everyone. Welcome to Table Talk Thursdays with Elyse Ann Psychic. That's me. I am the Psychic Liaison, Bridge to the Unseen. And this evening, Spirit actually told me a couple days ago that this evening we're going to start out with everything angels. There's so much going on, there's a lot of unfortunate chaos. And so, Spirit said to me, let's bring comfort and joy and let's talk about. Hi, Christy. Let's talk about everything angels. Welcome tonight. When you show up here, everyone, just say hi. Let me know you're here and you're joining us. And of course, this is an interactive forum. What do I mean by that? This is an exchange of ideas and thoughts and sharing. And so I hope that you'll also, besides saying hi, letting me know that you're here, that you'll add to the conversation in any way you feel guided. So let's go ahead and start with everything angels. Now, most of us, hi, Princess Samantha. How are you? It depends on what you're going to ask tonight, Princess Samantha, because tonight is Table Talk Thursdays. And this is an open forum that we talk about specific topics. So any questions you may have about specific topics is great. We welcome that tonight. The actual, if you're looking to ask a question concerning a reading, those are on. I do my Facebook Live Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Arizona time, which is the same as Mountain Standard Time right now. That is when I do the actual oh, okay. So you are asking about excuse me, a reading. Actually, honey, I don't do that this evening. That's on Wednesdays. So I hope that you'll join us on Wednesdays for actual psychic readings. But tonight I hope that you'll stay and just join us in the conversation, add to the conversation, just listen to the conversation, whatever it is, because we're going to talk about everything angels tonight. So, and welcome. Let's see, Amy, you're new here. Well, good evening. And Miranda, hi. Okay, everyone. So we started out with everything angels, and we're going to keep going with everything angels. Um, some people, there's all kinds of questions I know that surround angels, but let me just start here with you. Um, our angels are always with us, in case you're wondering. And please, if you have any, specific questions when it comes to angels and so forth, please let me know and share that. Okay. So, we talk about praying to our angels, asking our angels for guidance, to comfort us, to be there for us, to give us answers. And angels can do all of that for us. And by the way, if you're just joining us, please let us know by saying hi. And welcome to Table Talk Thursdays. Tonight we're starting out with angels. So I've actually taught workshops concerning, about angels and so forth. And some of the things that I know come up, some people, when I firmly advocate for everyone that you talk to your angels or you ask your angels to like I said, to help you, to comfort you, to give you messages, to give you signs. And some people will say, well, I don't feel very connected, or how do I know they're there? There are a myriad of ways. First of all, let me just say, if you don't feel your angels, or are not sure if your angels are around you, please be reassured that they always are. Angels are always around us. It's part of their job, if you will. And so angels are always around us. Archangels are always available. I'm not going to go too far into like the celestial hierarchy, but if you're not familiar with archangels, it's almost like, the way I like to describe it is, like they're the bosses of the angel realm. They're very powerful. Archangels usually have specifics, like there is Archangel Raphael, who is the archangel of healing, Archangel Michael, who is the protector and shields us. So they have, and there's all kinds of different archangels. I have to be honest, I don't know what every single one does. I have my ones that I use a lot, or I call upon, I should say, a lot. I don't want to say they're my favorites, but what I can say in regards to that is those are the ones that I call in. And so, everything angels, you can always call on archangels also. I know that I almost always, when I call in Archangel Michael, I'll call in Archangel Raphael at the same time because I feel they work in tandem for some of the healing that can go on. So, in other words, Archangel Michael can clear energy, negative energy, protect you, shield you. And oh yeah, Archangel Michael is awesome. I love Archangel Michael too, Christy. Very powerful. And these archangels will always show up because I've had people say to me, "Well, aren't they really busy? Don't they have a lot to do? Are little old me? Why are they going to come for me and help me? Because we're all deserving. That's why. And you don't necessarily need to feel them or feel like you're connected with them because I guarantee you are in some way. You may just not be aware of it. Our angels are always around us. When I say our angels, we do have a team of our own angels. Those are different than the archangels. Um, they are specifically assigned, that's the word I'm looking for, assigned to us for our lifetime. And our angels can change over different lifetimes depending on what we are here for in a specific lifetime. Now, and they do they offer the comfort, they offer the guidance, they offer the help. They're very, it's the love. It's, we know what they represent, this celestial being of pure love, and we can connect with it. Because also a lot of the source or mainstream accepts angels, if you will, overall. So angels feel very safe to us, not only from a personal place, but kind of societal place, if that makes sense. And I've had people ask me, who's my guardian angel? Where they'll say, is my grandmother my guardian angel? She passed away 5 years ago. Or, different people in their lives, a favorite aunt or an uncle, are they my guardian angel? Now, this is coming from my belief system and my experience doing the work that I do as a psychic. And I've been doing it for 20 years. So this is kind of a conglomeration of all of that. Um, I, it's a, to me, it's a terminology, earth-based terminology to say guardian angel. It's kind of more like a saying. So let me explain what I mean by that. From my perspective, angels are celestial beings. That means that they have not lived an earth-based life. They've never incarnated to human, if you will. And so when you ask, well, is my grandmother or my uncle my guardian angel? It's more of a saying, like, are they watching over me? Excuse me. So, because again, if they were your grandmother or uncle or whomever, they lived the physical human lifetime. So no, they're not technically an angel, technically. Okay. But yes, we say guardian angel because we look at that as somebody watching over us, protecting us. And so our loved ones that have crossed over, yes, they are watching over us. They are, hi Megan, good to see you. Bring on the angels. All right. And hi Angel Heart, good evening. Great to see you too. Thank you for joining us. This is Table Talk Thursdays. And tonight, like I said, we're going to do everything angels. So, I mean, we can, if you have other questions about other topics, we are so open. This is a very casual, informative, we go with the flow forum. That's what this is all set up about. What's on your mind? What do you want to know? I want to be able to help you with some things you've been wondering about, you know, anything spiritual, metaphysical, psychic, but this is not about readings, personal readings. I do get a lot of channel messages when I'm doing these live, the Table Talk Thursdays. But anyhow, okay. So let's go back to watching over us. Um, when we go back and, you know, when we transition to spirit, we're pure unconditional love. That's the base of everything. God's source, the I am, excuse me, the universal energy, it's all unconditional love. So, our loved ones, once they cross over, yes, they can show up kind of as a guardian angel. You feel like they're watching over you. um but again, they lived a physical life, so they're not technically an angel. Those are just celestial beings, and there is the hierarchy, like I said. Now, archangels, we talked about that a little bit. Let me go back that way. um they're the, you know, it's like the hierarchy of angels, or, you know, hierarchy of a corporation, let's just say, you know. They're the executives. I'll say, you know, God's source, the I am, is the, you know, the CEO, the top dog, if you will, and then the archangels are right below. Now, archangels can be anywhere and everywhere. In other words, um again, people, you know, so I've had it where people have asked me, well, aren't they so busy? Like, this, my thing is a little thing. Or, you know, but what I say to everyone um, is they have the capability of being in all places at all times, and you're not taking them away from anything, because they have that capability to be everywhere. And if it's important to you, that's all that matters. And you're just as deserving as the next person. Now, Christy says here, like a feeling, you know, they are there. Reminds me of angel eyes. It's awesome. Yes, lots of times people will feel it. And I'll talk about that. Remind me if I kind of sway over here a little further and forget to come back to it. But I'd love to share some of the signs and ways that they can communicate. So that's great. I'm glad you brought that up, Christy. Just kind of bring me back to it if I meander in another direction. All right. Um, so now the other piece is with guardian angels. Let's talk about that and a little bit more. Angel on earth, okay? Guardian angel. Sure, I know I've heard stories, you probably have yourself also, where somebody will have an experience. And actually, I actually witnessed, had my own when my daughter was very young. But we talk about, you know, angels showing up on earth. Like, you know, I don't know, I was just there and somebody showed up and everything worked out okay. I mean, no specifics on that one. But so, like, the example I'll give you for my daughter, actually, it was my daughter. She was little at the time. They're both grown now. But she, I don't know, she was 6, 7. I don't think she was even 8 years old. And we were in the airport and visiting my mother in Las Vegas. That's where my parents lived for a long time. And in a lot of airports, as we know, you can, once you go down that escalator or once you leave a certain section, you can't go back up. You got to go all the way around security. Well, here's my 6-year-old daughter. She was with my mother, but what my mother didn't realize, and she just didn't know, is that my daughter, she thought my daughter was just going to follow her down the escalator. I mean, they were right there, but my daughter hesitated and didn't get on the escalator. And so what happened was, by the time my mother realized, she was already down and my daughter was up, and there was nobody else with her. I was already down the escalator at the bottom. And so think about that if you're a mother, or just think about that, even if you're not a mother, what a mother would feel. You're in a very busy airport. She's a 6-year-old child. You cannot reach her. And oh my gosh, terrified. Next thing we know, I see somebody take my daughter's hand and start to walk away. So I'm panicked. God, I'm getting emotional just thinking about this so many years ago. And next thing we know, this gentleman walks over with my daughter. We saw the elevator open because it was right there by the escalator, and out pops my daughter. And so, of course, we're focused on my daughter. Oh my gosh, thank you, just grabbing her. And I mean, in a split second, person just poof, just like was there and dissipated. It was wild. But that's an example that I've had personally. The angel on earth, that angel that just shows up to help, to rescues, big word, but 6-year-old little girl by herself that nobody she knows can get to her. When you see a hand grab, and start walking with her, it's very scary. So that's my own example of when an angel on earth showed up. So what does that mean? Yes, they can present themselves as a human being. And again, there's been many stories. I just gave you mine, but there's been many stories I know I've heard, I've read, where people just don't know, but the person just shows up and there they are, and boom, they've been helped, they've been saved, they've been rescued, whatever it is. And then that person just disappears. And there's no explanation, let's say, for that person, just poof. Okay, they were there and you turn around, they're gone. So that's part of their job. It's this, the keeping us safe, the helping out, the rescuing. I know I've heard stories where, people have said, like with driving, I was heading this way and I didn't see it, and all of a sudden I know that my wheel kind of yanked a little bit. Who or what was that? That was, an angel showing up. Or I was, somewhere on an I've heard all these stories, abandoned, pretty dark abandoned road, and I had a flat tire. I'm saying these are stories, not me personally, but this is another story I've been told. And this person showed up like almost out of nowhere. They drove up, they showed up, and then poof, they're gone. So some of that, yes, I'm going to say something like that could be, just a human being helping. But when they show up out of nowhere, or somebody says, okay, this is one I remember from a lot of years ago. This woman came to I was actually having a garage sale back in the day, and she somehow, we got in a conversation. She was talking about, I'm standing here today, but I shouldn't be. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she said, I was in a horrific car accident, and they all said I shouldn't have made it out, and I did. And here I am today. And that's a short version of the story. So again, some people could say that was God's hand. Sure. Angels showed up to protect. We are also guided in some ways to be angels on earth too, from the physical form. And again, it's kind of a saying, because we're really not a true definition of an angel, because that's a celestial being. Okay. And so they work behind the scenes too. We may be motivated to go in a place or be somewhere that we can help somebody. That's the urging of usually our angels, or that other person's angels, because spirit sees it all. Okay. And so the potential, the capability is huge. So let's go back a little bit here I remembered to go back to like how you know your angels are around. Does anybody want to offer how they connect with their angels or how they know that their angels are around? Because as I've said in this live, this is interactive. And so I would love for you guys to give me your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences also in the comments. Please don't be shy. It's what makes this the best um, experience is to share, and because really this isn't about me sitting here and just talking for an hour. I can do it, but I want to hear from you guys because quite frankly we can learn from each other, and I can learn from all of you also. So there's so many different ways angels let us know they're around. Some people, well, Christy right there said, she gets a feeling, which is awesome. Sometimes you get this feeling. There's that angelic feel. Sometimes it's a wave of comfort that may come over you. Sometimes it's almost like a gentleness that you feel. Sometimes it's just a knowing. You just know, your angels are there. Um, Sometimes there can be a change in room temperature, um, where, it's not explainable by, let's say, the air conditioning going on or what have we. Yes. And Christy says, in like a small, quiet voice. Absolutely. Some people can hear very clearly. Some people, it almost is like a murmur, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. Or I know for me, sometimes I'll feel a bit of, it's not uncomfortable, but a little bit of like pressure in my ear. And if you've ever participated in the Wednesday live that I do, the psychic mini readings, sometimes you'll see me kind of holding my ear. Somebody's talking to me. Sometimes it's the angels, but I feel almost like a little pressure there. So I'm kind of tapping in. Um, some people they can show up kind of as a mist. Okay. Um, Sometimes they'll leave you outright signs. It depends. Um, can that be can some of those things uh or some of those signs or ways they communicate with us be attributed to other of our spirit team? Yes, but angels come with a different energy. It's usually more gentle. Not that the other, your guides or your masters or your teachers on your spirit team are harsh, but there's a difference. I think we all pretty much know there's this love. It's just attached with angels, and that's lots of times how they present themselves. You can sometimes that's is an example of how they can make themselves known. You just feel like this rush of love, warmth sometimes too. That's the blanketing of their wings around you. You may actually feel like you're being wrapped with wings. There's no right or wrong with this. There's no, gee, I'd love to have that, but I don't. Don't compare it to anybody else because they're going to show up and let you know that they're there in the way that they know that you will recognize it. All right. So, and welcome if you're new here. Thank you for joining us tonight, Table Talk Thursdays. We are talking everything angels tonight. This is an interactive forum. Love for the interaction. You guys give me your thoughts, your questions. If there's a specific inspirational, metaphysical, spiritual question that you have, please feel free to put it in the comments. I'm here really for you guys. I'm here for you to, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, kind of pick my brains too. I've been teaching these topics for a long time. I've been a psychic for like 20 years plus. So I'm here for that for you guys. Hi Laura, welcome. I'm glad you're here this evening. Carrie Ann, nice to see you too. Welcome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about how the angels can tell you they're around. Um, Sometimes they'll leave signs. Um, I know for some people, feathers big. Um, they can they can leave any kind of signs, any kind of even physical signs. Some people will find coins. And again, I know we can sometimes contribute that to other, like, loved ones that have crossed over and so forth, but angels can communicate that way too. The biggest thing, though, that I'm being reminded of, I'm being told from spirit, is you with angels, you will always feel this this calm, this comfort, this love, this beautiful energy. So that's another way, just from the feel of the energy, excuse me, that you'll know that they're around. Now, I'm gonna kind of backtrack to talking to your angels and asking for things that you may want from your angels. And please share with me how you connect with your angels. And if you're not sure, tell me that too. Let's talk about it a little bit. So, our angels can do just about anything for us, as our spirit team can. However, there are some universal laws. Okay. Um, Now, no spiritual being, no celestial being can cross our free will, free choice. We have that say so. Only time it can be done, which will be done by angels or God source, is in times of like life saving situations. That's when they can come in and rescue, help, be there, to keep you safe, to make sure that, let's say, for example, the accident is not as tragic as it could be. Okay. Um, the other thing is we can always pray. Pray to our angels. Talk to them. They're listening. They're great listeners. They're great listeners. I mean, think about them. They are the ones there to comfort. That is a big part of their job, so to speak, job, purpose. And so many times, I'll tell clients to, and I do it. I'll do it. If I'm distressed in some ways, or hurting, or upset, or whatever it is, I will talk to my angels about what I desire. I will. I've had many a cry session. But it helps. It helps. And I know when I do it, not only am I going to get the comfort, but I also know that if it's for my highest good, they're going to answer my prayers. And so I go in with the knowingness that I'm being heard. Okay. That's really important, because some people are like, how do I know? And how do I trust? And well, if that's their purpose, it's not like, you're going to call on your angels, or one of your angels, and they're going to go, no, too busy. No, because their main purpose is to be there to comfort, to watch over, to help us. Okay. How many of you believe that? Just tell me quick, give a Y or an N, whatever, in the comments. Do you believe that your angels are always with you? Yes or no? Do you believe that your prayers can be answered by your angels? Yes or no? Don't be shy with me, guys. Come on. Don't be shy with me. I want you to answer that. I'm just curious. And if you don't, nobody's judging here. It's a safe zone for you guys to let me know. Yes. Christy just said yes. Carrie Ann said yes. Awesome. Right. Well, I'm glad to see that, because, double yes. Christy. I love it. Double yes. Yes, yes. Cool. And Carrie Ann, yes. So you both of you answered that. So that's awesome. And it's so empowering, isn't it? It's so empowering to know that you're never alone. Excuse me. And so, yes. Oh, hi, Teresa. Welcome. I pray to my angels every day and they guide me. Awesome. I love it. That's their job. That's their job. So it appears that, and excuse me, I need to take a little sip of water here. Mm. Laura says, yes and yes. I've had a couple situations where I know angels were there. Perfect. Excuse me. And if you want to share one of those experiences, let us know. We're open to hear that, because what I was going to say is part of it also is, if you were, let's say you're driving and you were going to go a certain route, okay, and you just kind of heard it, felt it, got guided gently to go a different route, those are your angels, because they can see further. Way I kind of put it is, further down the road than we can. We only see what's in front of us. So they can be there to keep us safe. And so that nudge to go a different route, you just do it. Now you may not, um, you may not realize that that's why that happened, and you don't necessarily have to realize it. You just go with it, right? You never know. I've said so many times, you never know what you might have avoided. You know what I'm saying? By making that shift, you'll never know what could have happened had you not listened or been guided by your angels to make that shift. Now, let me see what Carrie Ann said here. She said my son was with a friend the other day and was almost crushed. Oh my gosh, almost crushed by a train car that fell off a semi trailer. I found a dime with his birthday date on the ground between my legs prior to the police calling me about the accident. So you were being given a heads up. And Carrie Ann, I'm so sorry. I hope he's okay. When you say he was almost crushed, I don't know if he got hurt though. Still, I hope not. But yes, that was, the thing that's coming to me from spirit on that. Because somebody might say, well, how did that help or keep you safe? Okay, that dime that you saw, and I'm being told this by spirit, that dime that you saw got you into a certain consciousness or awareness, so you weren't as shocked when you got the call from the police. I'm not saying you weren't shocked, but I'm saying it took it down just a level, that you were able to manage things straight, do what you needed to do. Had you not seen that dime and you just, what, again, it's not like I can prove that to you, but I'm telling you that's what I'm hearing from spirit. And they'll do things like that so that we're not totally blown out of the water. These are all ways our angels can step up. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to ask every time. They're going to show up without us asking, but when you want the extra help, you can also ask. So Carrie Ann said, oh, good. He was totally fine. He was in the car. The car was pushed out of the way. Thank goodness. I'm so glad to hear that. Only PTSD. Well, yeah, that may take some time. You can, this is another thing I want to share, because I do this. And I'm doing it more and more. Um, when somebody's in distress, or something like that, where your son is having a tough time, rightfully so, we understand. You can ask other people's angels, like you can ask your son's angels to be with him and to comfort him. You have that right to ask that. Now, what I need to say with that though is, of course, it's always going to be that other person's free will, whether they accept it, okay, on whatever level. They don't need to know that you're doing this, but our higher selves always know. Okay. So you can offer, ask his angels to be with him, to comfort him, and to help him with this. The other thing, that I have done, especially I've been doing this especially in the last couple of years. Um, I'm human too. So I have my reactions to people sometimes. um, but I have more and more in the last couple of years. I pull back. I don't get angry. I don't go into judgment. I just ask for that person's angels to be with them, to help them, to uplift them. Takes me out of the equation. It keeps me in a positive space, in a loving space. And More than anything, what I'm hearing, and it's true, spirit, again, when I say I'm hearing it, spirit channels things to me too while I do this. Um, it's the most spiritual thing to do because you're giving them grace. You're asking for them to have help. How much more loving and beautiful can it be? Instead of getting angry, instead of, because lots of times, I mean, people, and I'm not excusing behavior. Please understand, we have responsibilities in society, we have responsibilities as human beings. But if you think about it, people who are hurting tend to lash out. So if you could have a, no matter how upset you might be, have a, tiny compassion there to go, okay, I didn't like that at all. That was not okay. But obviously, this person can use some comfort. And it's almost like, kudo points for you karmically too. Don't do it for that selfish reason. It's not really selfish. Don't do it just for that reason because that would be selfish. I'm glad I cleared that up. But, do it from your heart because in a sense, if you think about it, if you were in a bad spot and kind of lashing out, you would probably hope that that person would have some grace for you. Okay, it's a plus it just takes you out of that negative energy. It's such a healthier, um, happier place to be. It really is. It affects you and your energy in a very positive way too. So let me see what Christy said here. She said about 2 months ago, I was closing the door to my room and heard a small voice in the back of my mind say electricity. 2 minutes later, our electricity went out for 13 hours. I thought it was so strange how that happened. I was the only one home. That is cool. And again, for whatever reason, they wanted to give you a heads up so you weren't as startled. Who knows what could have happened? It might have been too much of a jolt. It could have been, what a great perspective. Thank you, Carrie Ann. I've worked on it more and more. I'm sorry, Chrissy, I kind of flipped here, but Carrie Ann, I think she was referring to giving the other, asking the other person's angels to go to them. It's something I've really adopted hugely in the last 2 years, and I'll get back to that in a minute, Christy. Sorry, I flipped out of that for a moment, but um, especially we all know, no matter where you stand on things, it's not a pretty scene right now. A lot of stuff is flying everywhere. And again, it's not like we're not human. We might, get upset, but take yourself out of the equation. Don't get involved in it and just, like I said, the highest, best, most beautiful, loving thing you can do is ask their angels to be there for them to help comfort them. So thank you, Carrie Ann. Okay. So Christy, it was, give you a heads up just so you're not as shocked, surprised, or what have we. Some of it, though, Christy, I'm going to tell you, and again, this isn't about readings for people, but I did hear it, so I know you're supposed to hear it. Some of this is you connecting with your team more and more. Yay, I can feel it. You're like, yay. So, and that's very cool. And sometimes these messages can be not like, ooh, danger, danger, but little ways that you'll recognize that your team, your angels, your guides, whomever it is communicating with you. And that goes for everybody. I'm just saying that was a general when I, you know, statement that I was making for everybody. They will share it in a way that you will receive it. And welcome. I see some other people are coming in. So say hi, let us know you're here. And this is Table Talk Thursdays with me, Elyse Ann Psychic. And don't forget, you guys, follow and like my Elyse Ann Psychic page so you get notifications of when I go live. And okay, so let me regroup here for a moment. So far, does anybody, have a story they want to share concerning angels showing up or giving you heads up, how you connect with angels, anything that you want to share about things? Gidget says, I wish I could connect. Okay, Gidget. Well, we talked a little bit about that earlier. Hi, hi, Gidget. And let me just double back a little bit because the thing that I want to make sure that you know is this, and this is for everyone, but I'm going to reiterate it. Yes, Angel Heart, they do sometimes communicate through some devices. Remind me to go back to that in a minute because that is something that I was going to want to talk about a little bit. So thank you. So the thing is, if you can put yourself in a space or a place where you understand that the connection is there, whether you know it, feel it, or not, you just know it exists. And that's going to be your first step, because it's not about, am I worthy? Aren't I worthy? Hi, Lynn. Welcome. Glad you're joining us this evening. Talking about everything angels. Um, so it's about just knowing they're there. You don't always have to see it, feel it, experience, but you'll know. And I'm going to tell you, Gidget, they're probably in very subtle ways letting you know. So pay attention to things like temperature in a room. If you feel a little, sometimes it'll just change. I'm not saying it'll get colder or hotter, but the room itself, where you might feel comfort, like a warmth around you. That's usually their wings coming around and hugging you, comforting you, holding you in their wings. The whisper. I don't know if I mentioned that before, you guys. I think I did. I think I said murmur. The whisper. Sometimes it's very gentle. The thing to remember for everyone is whether, like I said, you experience it on a conscious level or not, they are always there. And they're never too busy to be there to help you. So we don't always have to ask. Sometimes they just know and they just show up. Again, though, they cannot cross our free will, free choice, or our higher self. So, Gidget, um, when you say I wish I could connect, I just want to reassure you, you have the connection, whether you are consciously aware or connecting, the feeling or not. Not sure if you're experiencing that, but just keep being open. And that's for everyone. Keep being open to it. Okay. And eventually, if you talk to your angels, you can ask them for a gentle, loving sign, and they will eventually show up with it. Now, Angel Heart talked about how sometimes they communicate through some devices. Yes, it's very true. And that's true, not only for angels, spirit guides, masters, teachers, those that crossed over, our loved ones, will do a lot of that also. That's to get our attention. Sometimes it can be a little freaky. I know. I've had some of my own experiences. And even though I've done this for so long, every once in a while, it has happened where I'm like, whoa. So, but yeah, they can turn lights on and off. They radios, TVs, and I'm glad I said radios, because that's another way our angels can communicate, is through music, and our guides, and but there too some music. um so Angel Heart says, sometimes I get scared though that it might be a bad energy. Okay, I understand that, and I'm with you on that. I understand. So let's talk about that for a minute. Number one, if anytime anybody ever feels scared, you have the right to call on Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is the protector, the shielder. He also clears negative energy. Okay. So if you're feeling scared, you have every right. They're not going to be offended, even if it was an angel or, a higher vibration. You are human, so that's okay. If, if, if you get scared, if you can take a breath and stop for a moment and kind of tap into your intuition and say, your heart center or your gut, okay, does it feel bad in there? Don't worry so much if you're like, well, is that my mind because I'm scared? It's okay. Just tap into it and see, because you may be surprised that sometimes, excuse me, you get this very calm, okay feeling. And that's lots of times how you'll know. Now, I want to just address real quickly the bad energy. That the word bad or good is I do my utmost best to not label it in a judgment way. Hi, Suzanne. Welcome. You're from Florida. Yes, Suzanne. Okay, yeah, I'm glad that you finally got to join us. Welcome. We're talking everything angels tonight. So please feel free to share and join in the conversation. And Gidget, I'm going to get to what you said in just a minute. So um, I look at it as lower and higher vibrations. I don't look at it in a judgment way, bad or good. The reason why I really do that is we have this connotation. I mean, it's what the word means, bad. So the energy that flows with those words puts you into a negative space. It's bad. Ooh, it's good. But if it's negative or positive or higher or lower vibration, it's less judgment. You're not putting a judgment label on it. You're just saying, okay, I know it's a lower vibration. It's just almost a statement of fact by taking out, let's say, the fear factor and the energy of the fear. Okay. And I know that a lot of people say bad and good. And I'm not here to say, correct anybody. I'm here to offer you my viewpoint on that. Because we don't want to feed it any of that fear energy either. So it keeps us more neutral. So it's just a little pointer there. Okay, so let me see here. Gidget said, I talk to my loved ones and my guides all the time and have not figured out how they want to communicate with me. Well, there are a lot of different ways, Gidget, and what I'm going to do is two things. I'm going to offer that. I don't know if you're aware, I have another weekly live that I do on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Arizona time. We're the same as Mountain Standard Time right now. And that is where I offer free mini psychic readings. So that's something that I can help you with there. Or if you want to have a private session, I do offer private sessions starting at 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 60 minutes. We can get in real deep for you and get some information about that for you. You can always private message me or go on my website, ElyseAnnPsychic.com. So I want to offer that to you because this is more your question. I feel like you want to know specifically for you, and this is more general that I'm getting into. But there's all kinds of different ways that they can communicate. The one thing I can share in this moment, and this is for everybody, don't prejudge how you want to receive the information. Like, in other words, well, okay, I know I said you can ask for a sign, and that's true. What I mean by don't prejudge it is don't give them like an absolute specific, do this and I'll know. Then you take away some of their way of doing miracles or creating miracles, I should say. Um, but I know that some people just feel it. They just feel it. They know it. Some people will hear them. Some people may actually see them. So there are different ways that they can show up for you. And again, they're going to choose the way that they know you're most receptive. So whatever you do, and again, this is for everyone. Whatever you do, don't judge the way you are receiving the connection, because I've run into people where like, oh, my friend can hear them and I can't, and I really want to. And I'll say, well, okay, but are you feeling them? Like, can you feel? And they're like, yeah, I can. I just kind of like feel their wings from. Well, that's the way they're connecting with you. So just be aware of that. And it doesn't mean that eventually you may not that you won't hear them, but they're going to connect with you the way they know that you receive in the moment in time. And that can always develop and shift and change. So, all right. So I hope that helped you. Okay. And Gidget, you're from upstate New York. Well, welcome. Okay. So let's see. Laura, when I was a child, I grew up in a pretty unloving house and endured years of abuse. I'm so sorry for that. I am a survivor myself in different ways, but I've always explained how I came out of it was because I felt I had many angels guiding me and teaching me. I had a unique insight that can only be explained by my angels. Well, there you go. And I don't know for sure, and I'm not trying to put this on your story, but we'll answer this maybe if you're willing to. When you were younger, though, did you know this, or you're making this, you're saying this that you came out of it, you explain it that you came out of it because that's what you came to when you looked back on it as an adult. So in other words, did you know in the moment when you were young that they were around you? Did you know that someone or something was there? Here we go. My angels communicate by a feeling. It's like learning something new, but feeling like it's truth and have known for years. Okay, that's very cool. But I'm just curious to know if you knew as a child that those were angels around you, or you just kind of knew that you didn't really know, but you knew. I don't know how else to explain it. Because the reason I asked, I'm just curious. Because I've been very, very, very open my whole life. I can look back and see it situations when I was very young. and having the perspective I have now, I can recognize, that my guides were with me, my angels were with me. I had a lot of masters with me, just getting me through things. So, did I know in the time? No, I knew, but I didn't know. I don't know how else to explain it. Maybe Laura, you understand that. It's almost as if you something was kind of guiding you, but you didn't know. I don't know. Laura, ironically, I was raised in a crazy Christian house, so as a child, I thought of it as God. Well, we are all God. Everything is God. The I am, the highest vibrational being, the universal one. Those are all the words or names or labels that people will use to explain that, or to call that energy. Um, Angels are an extension of God, though. So that is very cool. I mean, the beauty of it all is they showed up, they knew that you were in need, and they were able to communicate with you however you were receptive. And the fact that you saw it as God, that's absolutely perfectly great. It's we're never going to insult our angels. We're never gonna hurt our angels. It's an incapability on our part to be able to even do it, because they are pure unconditional love. They see things very, very different. And yes, they come to help us on the physical level where we're at, but there is no judgment on their part. There nothing like that. And I do really want to, spirit's kind of asking me as we're in the last, I don't know, 9 8 9 minutes of this. um they're telling me to reiterate this piece because it's so important, because over the years I've heard it from so many people. um well, I don't want to bother them. They got a lot of important things to do. Or, will they really have time for me? Will they really show up for me? And again, I want to assure, absolutely assure every single one of you and beyond that yes, they will always show up. Just ask and they will show up. You may not be conscious of it, but universal law, that's their job, if you will. And there is a universal law that I believe, there are multiple universal laws that I believe exist. Again, from my experience, my teaching, the many, many, many private sessions I've done, um, psychic readings, that's their purpose. So they will always show up. The thing I guess I'm trying to get to, and they're reminding me, is, Jen, please, whatever you do not question your worth or value in regards to this. Um, because you're just as divine, you have just as much of a divine right to that help as anybody else. No matter what, uh, okay. Well, I don't know. I can't get out of this. Can somebody block Princess Samantha? Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about me, Princess Samantha. I'm like, wait, what are you saying? Are you saying that I was me? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm sorry you went through that, Princess Samantha. Excuse me, everybody. I got a little thrown off there. Um, okay. I'll get to that in just a minute, Princess Samantha. Give me just a moment. I will take a minute to address that for you. But okay. So let me go back for a minute here. Sorry, I got really thrown off. Um, because I'm reading the comments really fast. So always remember that you yourself are a spiritual being. You are. We all are. We're a spiritual being having a human experience, and we're a human being having a spiritual experience. But through all of that, we are divine beings ourselves. We are God's source. We are all part of it. So please, whatever you do, because it kind of makes me sad when people feel that way, like, well, I'm not they're not deserving of it. And the truth of the matter is, you Because you are, you are. Because you exist, you are. Always, 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 they will show up. Again, keep in mind they cannot step on your free will, free choice, your higher self, but unless it's life threatening, but they're there for you. I can't like tell that to you strong enough. Don't ever feel they're abandoning you or that they're not around, because they are. Okay, let me very quickly, Princess Samantha. Um, okay, so Princess Samantha, this is not tonight is not a reading live event. Tonight is a Table Talk Thursdays event. So I'll offer again to you either Wednesday, or if you want to set up a private session, I offer um, even 15 minutes if you want to, look at it. You can go onto my website if you want to address this. But what I want to say, honey, is I'm sorry that she was mean to you. It's not that it was my fault, but I can't speak for this other person. What I can tell you is, and you've been on my lives, Princess Samantha, and others of you that are here tonight have been on my lives. I always, always, always come from a place of compassion. I'm always reading, getting the psychic information from the place of love and compassion, and just wanting to help you. So I'm sorry you had that situation. Um, so just keep the faith that um, every psychic is different. And so tap into your intuition in the future and just really feel whether it's right to reach out to that psychic. Okay. And again, I invite you to direct message me if you want to do a private session, or join us again next Wednesday on the live at 11 a.m. So, Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. There we go. Oh, thank you. She says you do, your spirit is from the heart. Thank you, Princess Samantha. That's why I do what I do. I am just so here to help. And as I was sharing that with you guys a second ago, I don't know if you could see, but I was like, I'm gonna cry. My heart is filling up. I didn't cry. I came very close because it's my joy. It's my joy. It's anyhow. All right. So let me ask you guys as we're finishing up here. See you on Wednesday. Okay, good, Princess Samantha. That's great. I'm glad you'll be joining us. As I'm finishing up here in the last few minutes. Oh, Teresa. Oh, right. I mean, I knew your name, but no, okay. She said I took an angels class about 10 years ago. From Elyse, and it was great at PVCC. PVCC, for those of you that don't know, is Paradise Valley Community College. I taught there for about 8 years, all types of different metaphysical workshops. They had an adult continuing education department, and they were very open to all this, and I loved it. It was great. Unfortunately, they closed that department down. Ooh, it's got to be like 7 years, I think 2013. But thank you, Teresa. I knew your name, but I meet a lot of people. I was like, where? She also says also had a private session and asked questions, and she was right on and connected me with my brother. Well, thank you so much, Teresa. So blessed that you shared that, and grateful that you shared that, and that I could help you. And I just want to kind of throw it out there to you. I would love for you, if you want to write a recommendation on my Elyse Ann Psychic page, there's a tab, and I would love, I mean, there it is right there, if you're so guided. Not an obligation, Teresa, but if you would, I would love it. You can go on that tab. It'll ask you if you recommend me, and then you can write the testimonial. Up to you. Okay, you guys. Or Jen, you can tell you guys I'm from the East Coast originally. I haven't lost that one, even though it's been years, decades, since I've lived on the East Coast. I was a little girl before teenage years. Well, and I lived there. Certain things just stick with you, though. So, anyhow, Everyone, I just want to thank you so much for being part of the live Table Talk Thursdays live event tonight. This is a weekly event, same time every Thursday. Topics change. Sometimes it's all types of different topics. We just see where spirit takes us. I hope that this evening offered you some comfort, some uplifting, because I know we all can use it no matter where you stand on anything. We all really need it right now because that energy is just tough stuff. So remember to follow and like my Elyse Ann Psychic page. You'll get notifications when I go live. You can put this in your calendar too. I have a lot of people that'll put it in their calendar, and if they can make it, great. And again, some of you know me from also the Wednesday weekly mini psychic readings event on my Elyse Ann Psychic page. That's 11 a.m. Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. Connect with me. You want a private session? Connect with me. If you're on and you see me on, you want to send me a quick message. Hey, Elyse Ann. I'd love it. I'm here for you guys. Thank you so much. Woo, talking my words. Thank you so much for being part of the live tonight. This is great. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your ideas. Let's do it again next week. You guys have a blessed rest of your evening, and we will see you very soon. Thanks so much.